right? That was about angle constraint. Okay, angle between any two faces or any two surfaces. Okay, so you can select that and it will specify the angle. So that is also another type of constraint. Okay.
And let's get back to the final assembly. Alright, now let's see, we have finished this coincidence, contact, offset, angle. Now let's move ahead with this thing, move tools. We have done manipulation. Okay, so now we will see about this snap tool. So for that I'm gonna create another assembly design, and then I'm gonna import part in product, part 5, open, and click OK. And I'm gonna insert the same part again, product, part 5, open, and let's click OK. So now what I want is, I want this part to be on the top of this part, and these holes should coincide. So traditionally what I can do is, I can first use the manipulation tool and move it a little bit here above, like this. And now I can use this coincide constraint tool to coincide this axis. Okay, click update, and then I will use this contact constraint to make a contact between these two surfaces. Click update. So in this way I can do my job done. Okay, I can perform my job. But the another and the easiest way to do this is with the help of a snap tool. Now let's see what a snap tool does. First of all, let's delete these constraints. Delete and delete. So now let me get to the isometric view, and let me move this a little bit top. Okay, so I am gonna use a snap tool now. So snap tool is a combination of coincidence constraint and contact constraint. So instead of using these two constraints, what I can do is I can use snap.
Yes, yes, I know. 360. He had messaged me that he is going for internship. I'll give him attendance. No problem with that.
Constraint at once. Okay, let me move this a little bit in y direction also, so you can see better. Okay, so now let's see, I am gonna use this snap tool, clicking on snap, so I can choose this axis and this axis. Okay, see, it becomes coincidence. Okay, the axis has become coincidence. Click anywhere else, and then click again this snap tool and choose this face and this face. See, this has become a contact constraint. Okay, so in this way I have both used coincidence and contact at once by using the snap tool. So snap tool is just a faster way to use this coincidence and contact constraint. Okay, so in this way I have
Clear about that snap constraint? It is a combination of what and what? Combination of two constraints, right? Contact and coincidence. The coincidence is used to make axis coincident or faces coincident, right? And these contact, right, to make contact between two faces. So snap is an easier way to do both of that.
so I can choose this axis and this axis. Okay, see, it becomes coincidence. Okay, the axis has become coincidence. Click anywhere else, and then click again this snap tool and choose this face and this face. See, this has become a contact constraint. Okay, so in this way I have both used coincidence and contact at once by using the snap tool. So snap tool is just a faster way to use this coincidence and contact constraint. Okay, so in this way I have covered this manipulation and snap tool, which are the important ones. And here we have discussed about coincidence, contact, offset, angle constraint. Okay, so using these tools you can create almost any assembly what you want. and as you want. Okay, and whatever parts I have used in this tutorial, I will give you a Google Drive link in my description, so you can download it and you can practice yourself. And so I have discussed almost about all the things which I want to discuss in this CATIA tutorial. First we have started with the part design, and for part design we have studied about sketching, and then we move on to assembly. So using this information which I provided in this tutorial, you can almost create any part and assemble any part of your required choice. Okay, and one more thing, there are multiple windows you can open in CATIA. So you can minimize this window from here, and you can open this another window from here. Okay, like this. So you can make multiple parts and multiple assemblies at one time. Okay, and I would like to suggest you guys that practice as much as you can and try to make parts like whatever you see in your real life, whatever.
right? Any doubts regarding the commands? Right, we have covered the basics of part modeling, I mean starting from sketching, right? The basics of sketching, part modeling, and then assembly. Right, no doubts. Okay, then we'll see the exercise. Okay, because you have covered the basics. Okay, now we'll have a look at the exercise. Okay,
So we'll be solving these exercises step by step. So let's begin.
you see that third one is covered in your lab. Okay, so these others will give you an idea. Okay, all these, because your exercises also all have these common features, right? So observe.
With first exercise. So for that, click on Start Mechanical Design Sketcher, click on OK. Then here is telling you to select a plane or a planar face to or a sketch. So we want to create on this horizontal plane, so we will click on that plane. Then start with profile. So at first I will create this shape, and after that I will give dimension to it. So click on profile and create the shape. Give the start point, second point, keep it blue, so that blue means it is straight. If it is white, that means it is inclined. So pay attention that the color of the line is blue, that means it will come straight only. Click. By keeping the color blue, click all the points. It will automatically track when you are in the line of v-axis, and click, and it will automatically stop when you will close it. Then click outside, then go to constraint, click on this Q location. Now actually we will dimension it step by step. So at first we will give dimension to this, and the dimension is 30, 20, 25. So we will give it 30. Again give constraint, and if you want to use this number of times, then just double click it. So you don't have to click it again and again. You can use it multiple times without clicking it. Just double click and just give the dimension. Now became over constraint because we have given this length also. So we will just delete this length. For that we will have to cancel it, select and delete. Then again double.
Why was it over constrained? You see, the color gives you an idea of whether it is constrained properly or not. It was over constrained, right? Why? Because you see, the total we specified the total distance, right, from this end to there, and we also specify we are specifying the individual distances from here to there, there to there, and if you specify it from here to here also, that means we are specifying individually also and total also. So if you sum this, it will be one dimension, and the total will be another dimension, right? So if it is over constrained, if you have specified more constraint, then it will change the color. So that is why when you, if we specify this one and this one and the total one, it is fine, so that he can calculate, he will subtract this total, okay, the total minus sum of a summation of these two, okay, so that he can, the software can know how much is this distance, remaining distance. If you have also specified this along with the total distance, then it becomes over constraint. Okay, that's what it is there. Observe.
It multiple times without clicking it. Just double click and just give the dimension. Now it became over constraint because we have given this length also. So we will just delete this length. For that we will have to cancel it, select and delete. Then again double click and give the dimension. Click on this line, take your cursor on the left and click. To double click, take in again. Okay, then to come out, click on this constraint button, then double click and give the length. So it is 20 and 25. So here is 20, then here is 25. Then height is 20, 15, 30. So first is 20, then 15, then 30. So we'll give it 30. So in this way this first object is ready, and it is fully constrained because all the dimensions has been given. To bring it in this line, click and hold on the arrow and drag it. Just drag the arrow. To place the dimension properly, you have to drag the arrow and drag the text to place the text properly. So in this way this sketch is ready. So for, if it is as it is not very important, so we will not be saving it. So again we will start new sketch, mechanical design, sketcher.
Simple, right? There are no inclined lines, so we did not use angular dimensioning. It was only linear dimension that we used, right? And that's all. Horizontal and vertical lines, and then the dimensions. Okay, that's to start. Now another part. Okay.
Part 2. Okay, then click on this plane, horizontal plane. So next is this triangle and circles. So triangle size is 60. It is a equilateral triangle. So at first we will create this triangle. So again take the profile, give the start point, second point, third point and closing point. Pan it down by holding down the scroll button and dragging the mouse. Then give the dimension using constraint, double click it so that it will give it continuously. And again angle between these two lines, click on these two lines and take cursor inside and click there. To come out, click on this constraint button, then double click, give the angle of 60. Here also the angle of 60, and the length is also 60. Then you can zoom it using this tool here, then pan it using scroll button pressed. So in this way this 60 or okay. Then next is to create the circles. So for that we will take this circle command, give the center point and give the other point. So in this way we will create all the three circles, second and third. Then
You see, you don't confuse that green to be a circle. Okay, that is a dimension. It should have been here. Okay, we can even manipulate that, but he kept it there. So this is not a circle. That's your dimension, angular dimension. Okay, the ones in white, okay, are your current circles. Okay,
double click the constraint and give the dimension, zoom fit. Then we will change the dimension as per this. So here is radius is 10, so just double click, take the radius, give it 10 and press enter. 10, 15, 10. So here also 10, make it radius, give the 10 dimension, press enter. Here is 15, so give 15 radius, make it 15, press enter. In this way it is ready. Take it inside. If you want to do zoom by mouse, then you have to press the scroll, right click and drag the mouse. In that way you can zoom the object using mouse. Then next will be to create a circle touching this line, three lines. So for that click on the arrow below the circle and take this tritangent circle and click on the three lines, first line, second line, third line. So in this way it has created this object.
right. That middle circle, there is an option in circle feature that you can specify the three tangents, and it will create a circle in between that is tangent to all the three lines. Okay, a very useful feature. Okay,
Then next is this one. So again start mechanical design sketcher. Okay, click on the horizontal plane. Now in this line of 90 is important, so it needs to be a center line. So we will take this axis tool, axis, take the first point, take the second point and give the dimension. Click on constraint, click on the axis, place the dimension, double click to edit. The dimension is 90. Then there are two circles here, so we will create the circle from here. This is first circle. You can also double click to create it multiple times, so that you can use the command by clicking it once. Okay, then give the dimension. So it is 20, 30, 10, 20, 10, 20, 20, 30. Okay, again click on the constraint. So inside is 10 radius, give the 10, double click the constraint to repeat the command. Then here is 20, then here is again 20 and this is 30. So it is there. Then we will need these tangent lines. So for that again click on this line, arrow up line and take these bitangent lines and click on the circle, first circle, second circle. Again click on bitangent line, first circle, second circle, zoom fit.
you can even take that uh, simple line to draw those two lines, right? But you again have to apply a tangent constraint between the line and the circle, right? So to save time, there is a useful feature in line also, that there is an option called by tangent line, which you used, right? This one. So that by tangent line we can use, right, to draw a line between those two circles, a line that is tangent to both the circles, the smaller one on the right side and the bigger one on the left side. Okay, and now we don't need this one, so we will trim it off. Okay, and by the way, this is there in your lab exercise, right? Just that he's not going to extrude it. All we have to do is extrude and then the part will be finished. Okay, this is just a sketch, the
or
final
zoom it,
sketch.
and you can place it the 90, drag the dimension line. These are also you can drag it. Then next is we have to trim these arcs. So for that we will use, from here select quick trim. Quick trim, click on the circle to be trimmed. Again double click it so that we can use it continuously without going back to the button. Then either you can press escape or click on this quick trim to come out. So in this way this object is also ready. Then next is this one.
Right, we just have to extrude it. Okay, and how do you do that? Using pad feature, right? Use the pad feature, supply the value of the pad, right, the thickness of it, and that's how you create that part. Okay,
Again start mechanical design sketcher. Okay, take the horizontal plane. Okay, it has taken vertical, that will also do, no problem. Then we want this object, so for that again suppose we will take a rectangle, give the first point and second point. You can also give dimension by pressing the tab button, and the width is 100 and height is 30. 130, press enter. So it is created. So in that case you don't need to give the dimension, it will come automatically. Zoom fit it and zoom it. So this rectangle is ready, 100 by 30. Then from here we need a axis at the location of 30. So create the axis. So we'll create this first axis, double click it, then second axis, then third axis is from the midpoint to midpoint. Then we will give dimension using constraint. Click on constraint, click on this line and this axis and give it 30. Again constraint, this line and this axis, again give it 30. Now we have to create the circles. So take the circle, take your cursor when both lines are highlighted, at that time it is taking the intersection. So click there and create the circle. Same way here again, circle, when both lines are highlighted, at that time you have to click, so it will take the intersection. Then again constraint, give the dimension, so it is 10. So give the 10 radius, again give the 10 radius. So in this way this object is also ready. Then next is this object with ellipse. So again start mechanical design sketcher. Okay, then click on horizontal. So in this, at first we will create these two axes, or we can directly create the ellipse. So take the ellipse, give the center point, go horizontal, click there, go vertical, click at the center. Then to give the dimension, click on constraint, then click on the ellipse, so it has given the horizontal dimension. So horizontal is 120, so double click 120, and vertical is 80. So again constraint, click on this quadrant point of ellipse and this quadrant point of ellipse, and give the vertical dimension, so it is 80. So ellipse is ready of 120 by 80 size. Just drag it. Then next is circle, two circle in the center, so double click and create it. Give the dimensions, so it is 30 60 diameter. So first is 30 diameter, take the diameter 30. Again constraint, diameter is there already 60. Then next is at 100 distance, these two circles are there, so we'll just create the circle at the center, tracking the center, and the gap between constraint we will give center to this vertical axis is 50, this is 50. Again constraint, this point to this point is 50. So in this way this sketch is also ready. So in this way we have created all the sketches. So in this way all the sketches has been created. So
right? That window feature is also good, that you can view multiple videos. When selecting new part, all of those windows were open. Okay, when you press that window and tile horizontally or vertically, it will display all the windows, right? Another useful feature if you want to analyze multiple parts. Okay, or you want to have this same part with different dimensions, like change of some dimensions, modifications have been done, so you can view the change right by keeping them one beside the other. Okay, is this clear or doubts? No doubts? Okay, okay, observe these.
creating this object and this object. So let's begin with first object. So click on start mechanical design, part design. Then at first actually we have to create this shape and we will make pad of it. So as this shape is vertical, so we will take a vertical plane for it. So click on sketch, click on this vertical plane. Now we want to create the
Right, you know the starting procedure, isn't it? Sketch, yes, you have to click sketch and then you have to specify on which plane do you want to sketch, right? And then it will make that plane normal to our screen. If it is not making it, then you can even choose this option, right? Normal to screen, that is there at the bottom beside zoom. Okay,
shape. So let's start. Suppose I will take rectangle for the bottom plate. Now this rectangle I want it symmetric to this vertical axis, therefore I will create one axis, click on axis and create one axis. Then select this line, control, press control and select this line and select this axis. So you have to select the axis at last. Then click on constraint define in dialog box and click on symmetry. So it will create the symmetry around that axis.
Clear? If you select entities and then go to constraint, it will specify what all constraints are applicable, right? Only those will be highlighted. So that is another useful feature. You have to click the entities you want to constrain, and then you go to constraint, and then it'll tell you what all constraints are applicable for this symmetry or mirror, okay, or parallelism, perpendicularity, etc. Clear? So once you click the constraint, when you press OK, it will apply.
Then next is and select this axis. So you have to select the axis at last.
Selection of the axis that about the symmetry option should be considered last, right? Select the other entities first, okay, the symmetry entities, and then this axis at the end, okay.
This line, control, press control and select this line and select this axis. So you have to select the axis at
When you are selecting multiple entities, you have to press control, right, as usual, okay, you remember that.
last. Then click on constraint define in dialog box and click on symmetry. So it will create the symmetry around that axis. Then next is these two vertical lines. So we will create two lines. This is the first line, second line. Again we will make them symmetric. Control and select three object. Symmetry. Okay. Then give the dimension for the base. It is 75. Click on constraint. Select the line. Give the position. Double click. It is 75. Then the thickness. Thickness is 9. Constraint. Vertical line. Location. Double click. 9. And next is this gap is also 9. So again constraint. Select the two lines. Double click 9. Okay. So this bottom part is ready. Then next is these two circles are there at the height of 40. Suppose we will create one horizontal axis and we will give a constraint distance of 40 from horizontal line to this axis. 40. Okay. Now using this center point we will create two circles. So click on circle, select that intersection point. When both axes gets orange, that means we have selected the intersection. Click there, create first circle, circle, select the, now it is showing the center point of previous circle, so click on that and create second circle. Then give the parameter, so first radius is 15 and other radius 15 plus 8 is 23. So constraint, select first circle, double click, select radius, so first is 15, enter, again constraint outside, again it is 23. So it is ready. Then here closing lines will be needed, so select line command and select intersection of line and circle. Again select second intersections. Then double click the quick trim and remove the unwanted shape. So in this way we have to create the outside boundary actually. Then this dimension is gone, we will give it again to make it fully constrained. So 15. In this way this shape is fully constrained and we have created the outside boundary only. Then click on exit workbench, then click on pad to create it, to turn it into 3D object. Now this pad I want it at both sides actually, so that I will get this center plane to create this stiffener. So I want to extrude it on both sides of the sketch. So for that I will use mirror extend so that it will extrude on both sides of the sketch. Then I will give the total width is 50, total not total actually half of the total, so it will be 26. So you have to give half length, so here the it will become 52 then click on OK. So to
So when you want to do it on both sides, you'll use that, okay, so that you can specify half distance and it'll take the pad on both sides, okay.
I want it at both sides actually, so that I will get this center plane to create this stiffener. So I want
For that stiffener, isn't it?